Welcome to the Boyertown Area School Board meeting for October 25th, 2022. Now call to order. Roll call, please.
Ms. Nyman.
Here.
Mr. Panarello.
Here.
Mr. Updegrove.
Here.
Mr. Zawada.
Present, sort of.
Mrs. Scott.
Here.
Ms. Deeroff.
Present.
Mr. Hemingway.
Here.
Mrs. Hogan. Present. Mr. Brophy.
Here.
All present.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remember to sign. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving forward, previous executive sessions, there were none. Next, I have student spotlight. Yep. The highlight of the meeting.
Exactly. I'm always excited to go first.
Yep. We always put you first, too.
I know. It's what we're here to celebrate, right?
That's correct.
I want to take a moment this evening to give you an update on Brianna, our pediatric cancer warrior. I got an email from her mom this morning, and she shared the following. Brianna had her disease evaluation scans, and they got the results that there was no evidence of active disease. Yay! She finally has a Curie score of 0, which they have been struggling to get to since I was introduced to them earlier this year. They are still waiting to hear from Memorial Sloan Kettering regarding the vaccine trial. If she's accepted, they will still need to do her normal bone marrow biopsy. So she asked me to just have everyone keep them in their thoughts and prayers because there still is a slim possibility they could discover disease at that point. She is currently targeting coming to our meeting on November 22nd, all based on whether or not they hear from Sloan Kettering. So that's where things are with Brianna. I told her we're all thinking about them and keeping them in our positive thoughts. So on November 10th, we're going to hold our committee of the whole meeting at Earl Elementary, and Mrs. Franco and her team have asked that you please watch your email for a special invitation to participate in their candy and toiletries drive for the troops, which will end with the contributions they received that evening. So please keep an eye on your email for some more information about the next meeting, okay? Now to the really fun stuff. I have to tell you, the two kiddos I'm going to introduce to you tonight, I haven't stopped talking about them since I met them on Friday. They are infectious and contagious and really neat kids, and I can't wait to share them with you. So tonight I'm proud to introduce Dylan Class and Andrea Campbell as our student spotlights, if you guys want to come up. Dylan is joined by Mrs. Gallagher, the Bash school counselor. Dylan and Mrs. Gallagher will talk to you about the National Merit Scholarship Program, and they'll be followed by Andrea, who is named first runner-up in this year's Berks County Outstanding Young Women's Scholarship Program. So just a little note, when they come up here today, one of the two of them was a little concerned that it might sound like they were bragging. I said brag away. Okay, so these two young people are amazing. I hope you enjoy meeting them, and guys, you're up.
Hi, thank you for having us. I'm going to give you a little bit of a history of what the NMSQT and PSAT is. It was, should I just not?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So what it stands for is National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, and the PSAT part of it stands for Preliminary Scholastic Aptitude Test. The PSAT has been around prior to it being connected with the scholarship competition. It started in 1959, and its purpose was to help students who were juniors prepare to take the SAT. So they could take the PSAT, which colleges would not see the scores of as a practice before taking the SAT. It was usually taken in the fall of junior year, and then it would prepare the student to take the real SAT in the spring. In 1971, the National Merit Scholarship Corporation decided that they wanted to use the PSAT as a qualifier test for a number of scholarships that they sponsored. So this test is only offered in October. We give the test using the school day option, which means it's given on a school day to the students. There's also a Saturday option. Any junior who attends school on that day takes the test. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes in duration, so we usually do it on an early dismissal day, and that is pretty much consumes their morning. It contains math, some evidence-based reading and writing, and about 1.5 million students take it across the country on that Wednesday and Saturday in October. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation has their own formula where they convert the scores from the PSAT into a selection index. And they identify the semifinalists using that formula. So basically it boils down to 1% of those 1.5 million students who take the test, 1%, being identified as semifinalists for the National Merit Scholarship Competition. Once they're identified as semifinalists, there are 7 more requirements that they must meet to move from semifinalist to finalist. Some of those are submitting an essay about themselves. Their high school record needs to be submitted, and it needs to be a rigorous, challenging high school curriculum with satisfactory grades or more than satisfactory grades. They also have to be a senior in high school who plans on going to a 4-year college. So, finally, a little bit about this young man standing next to me here who we're all very proud of. This is still in class. These were his scores from the test he took last October when he was a junior. He scored 1470 out of a possible 15-20 points. His math score was almost perfect. And his evidence-based reading and writing wasn't too bad either. So that index score is the formula that the National Merit Scholarship Corporation comes up with. So his index score was a 219. So they have an index score for every state. They want to make it equal across the nation, that students from each state are receiving the same recognition. So, and I believe, Dylan, you were, Pennsylvania's was 218 that year, okay? And he scored a 219. So this will go on now. Dylan will probably tell you more about the process he is going through right now, but basically in the spring, late March, early April, 7,250 of those finalists are going to receive scholarships. So they range from a single payment of $2,500 and corporate sponsored or college sponsored merit scholarships that can range from $400 to a full ride for all 4 years, renewable for school. Okay, and we will find out in spring how he does. So now Dylan's going to tell you a little bit about himself and his journey.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Gallagher. A little bit about myself. I'm a class officer here at Bash. I've been since 10th grade. I was elected class president. I'm also part of our varsity basketball team, and I did varsity cross country for just 1 year this year. I just want to try it. I'm part of our TSA club, where I'm a member and a state and national finalist. In Science Olympiad, I'm a state finalist as well. I'm part of our school's NHS club, math team, and in terms of some BASD opportunities that I've had here, I went to Gilbertsville, and ever since second grade, I was in an accelerated math program. So in second grade, I would go up to the third grade classroom and be in that advanced math environment where that really fostered my math skills particularly. And in middle school, I would actually Zoom with the high school students with a couple other kids as well. I was also part of the gifted club where that also expanded upon my math and ELA skills. Okay. Now about the test itself, we heard about the scholarship from a source like a couple months before I took the test. So I practiced. I think I took 8 of the free Khan Academy practice tests in total. For me particularly, I would always do very well on the math section. I would score from like 0 to 2 wrong on the math section. So I focused on the English section particularly, and I really saw improvement in that regard. I used to get like a lot more wrong, and then I gradually practiced and got a lot better at that section. After I graduated high school, I definitely want to attend a 4-year university where I'm looking to pursue a computer science degree. And I put up the University of Oklahoma and Alabama on there because if I advance to a finalist standing for the National Merit Scholarship Corporation, Oklahoma and Alabama actually sponsor a 4-year full ride scholarship. So that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. I'm not sure if I want to go there for sure yet, but just some
Mom and Dad.
yeah, just some options for now that this corporation has given me an opportunity to pursue.
Do you want to tell everybody what other schools you're considering?
I've applied to 19 schools in total, so I don't know where I want to go yet, but I'm interested in, most of them are local, like Pitt and Penn State, Drexel, University of Pennsylvania, so yeah, that's pretty much it.
He doesn't want to brag, but I would like him to, what math were you taking when you entered the high school in ninth grade?
So in 9th grade, like when I was here in 9th grade, or when I was in 8th grade taking 9th grade?
No, when you entered high school in 9th grade, what
Okay.
math were you already taking?
In 9th grade, I was in AP Statistics and Honors Pre-Calc. So,
In case you missed it, Dylan's the one who doesn't want to brag.
Does anyone have any questions?
If you go to Oklahoma, you'll have to be a cowboy.
oh, that's Oklahoma State. Yeah. Yeah. Be the Sooners. Yep.
So, oh, sorry. Okay. So 2 things. I appreciate your humbleness, but I also think that sharing your story allows you really to inspire other people, and it's really amazing what you've accomplished. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And then I just wanted to just say how smart it was to, focus on your weaker skills so you could grow in that area. Something I think a lot of times we try to avoid things that are uncomfortable or hard for us.
Yeah.
But you really did that head on, and the score shows how how effective that was.
Definitely took some practice. I think the first time I took a practice test, my math score was like 200 points higher than the English. So.
Yeah. I just recently struggled through college statistics, so, and I say struggled, putting it mildly, so that is super impressive that you could do that as a 9th grader.
Thank you. Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No, just a comment. I wouldn't put my SAT scores up there next to yours. Just saying. Even though they're from the last century somewhere.
Okay.
I'm going to share that because Andrea has said this to me twice now that she's a little concerned about following Dylan. And what I have to say about that is we are all different and we are all special, and your journey is equally as important.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Andrea Campbell, and I'm a senior at Boyertown Area High School, and I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to talk about my experience in Berks County Outstanding Young Woman with you all. I first heard about the program through a dance teacher and was encouraged to participate because of all the things I'm involved in. Here at BASH, I'm involved in chorus, I'm an officer, show choir, link crew, art club, student council as a chair in the upcoming PA student conference, and National Honor Society. Outside of school, I'm a part of my dance performance ensemble competition team, and I take multiple acting lessons and voice lessons. I also work at Corpley's Italian Bakery in Limerick, and also my dance studio as an assistant dance teacher, which is one of my favorite things. The program is for well-rounded students who encourage excellence and promote achievements throughout their school and the community. Once I first heard about the program, I knew it would be a great opportunity and would wait for more info. My guidance counselor then sent the scholarship opportunity to all the senior girls, and I decided just to give it a shot. In the spring of my junior year, after a long application and audition process, I was chosen to be the Boyertown representative. All summer, I then rehearsed with all the other contestants. Contestants were evaluated on their scholarship achievement, interview skills, performing arts, fitness, presentation, and was all judged on the night of the show. Established in 1964, the program was and aims to help young women with public speaking, confidence, and other life skills. I was fortunate to have won a $1,500 scholarship and become the first runner-up. Through this program, I learned so much about myself, along with public speaking skills, which I definitely struggle with, and confidence, team building, and so much more. My favorite part of the program, however, was the friendships I created. After rehearsing with other girls every Sunday leading up to the September performance, they have truly become some of my best friends. It was incredible to be surrounded by these girls with amazing talents and outstanding achievements, like being the valedictorian, which is crazy, and they all deserve to win in my book. So every rehearsal, I really, truly never felt like it was a competition one time. It was so fun getting to sing for them, as that's one of my favorite gifts and opportunities and what I hope to pursue in college, and listening to all the other talents and arts that came with the program. It was also fun. I'm so saddened that it's the last Boyertown and the last program, as for me it was truly a highlight of my senior year and a life-changing experience. I'm so honored to represent the Boyertown School District in this event, and thank you for the time and opportunity to share my experiences with you. Any questions?
I don't remember, did you share what your talent was? What did you,
I sang
okay, and what did you sing?
If I Loved You from Carousel.
Do you want to?
Not really. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So, congratulations. It's an outstanding achievement. And it's always really great to see women lifting women up. So, congratulations. It's amazing. And honestly, I thought you did really well with public speaking.
Yes.
I mean, excellently.
This program has really helped me, and all the community service that I've done has just really helped me outreach and help people, because that's one of my favorite things that I look forward to doing. And this program was a really good outlet for that and helped me really learn what I want to do for college. And it's all about helping people and hopefully just moving on with that. But yeah.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
So
Okay, well,
before
wait.
you walk away,
So I was waiting to see anybody else. So it sounds like you've accomplished a lot. I don't know when you get time to breathe. From listening to everything you did, there are a lot of accomplishments there. I'm also sure there's a lot of accomplishments, public speaking thing here, in your future. With that energy and the drive you have. What dance studio are you with?
Jean Barron's Academy of Dance in basically every style you can think of. When I'm not at school, I'm at
Yeah, I
dance.
was gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
that's very intensive to be in. But no, congratulations on everything. Wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
So before you walk away, I just need the two of you and your families to know this has been such a joy for me. I love this, but I'm going to remember this one. So thanks for sharing your kids with us. All right.
Oh, yeah, we won't force you to sit through the rest of it. Thank you for sharing everything with us tonight. Thank you. Next, our student representative reports. We look forward to this also.
First, I want to apologize. My throat is a little raspy tonight, so I apologize for any inconvenience. But, so hello board and community members. This month has been very exciting for BASH students.
I would like to congratulate BASH seniors on completing their senior presentations this year. From what I've heard, it's been all good things. It was definitely stressful for seniors to fit their entire high school careers into one presentation, but now the presentations are over and all of us seniors are taking a deep breath of relief.
While seniors had their presentations, sophomores and juniors were also having an eventful day for themselves. Sophomores completed the pre-ACT, and juniors took the pre-SAT the entire half day, so we want to congratulate them for persevering through those 4 hours. Also, BASH also had their first pep rally of the year on Friday, October 14th, in preparation for the football game. We had some great announcers, class tug-of-war games, and it ended with great dancing from the teachers. Overall, we saw some great spirit from both BASH students and teachers, which is awesome.
BASH also had their homecoming football game on Friday the 14th. We won 34-21. It was a big shout out for the student section, full of pink. At the game, during halftime, the homecoming queen was announced. Congratulations to Alyssa Albanese. That Saturday was BASH's homecoming dance. We ran out of tickets, which is good in some ways, but also bad for the students that couldn't come. It was an amazing time, and at the dance, the homecoming king was announced, so I would like to congratulate Jacob Benner. It was definitely a night to remember.
Speaking of Pink Out, BASH had their Spirit Week during the week of October 10th. It started on Tuesday with Neon Day, Wednesday with Decades Day, Thursday was Class Colors, and Friday was Pink Out. Unfortunately, not many Decades Day outfits were seen on Wednesday due to presentations and testing, but overall, many students participated in Spirit Week, and like Olivia said, an incredible amount of pink on Friday.
So Student Council at BASH is hosting the PASC State Conference, November 3rd to the 5th. Under the direction of our new advisors, Mr. Pennington and Mrs. Musselman, they are financially trying to get everything done and ready for the conference. We have no doubt that everything will fall into place and the conference will go well.
In other news than BASH, on Friday, Middle School East will be having their first dance of the year. We hope that the turnout is good and that students will have fun making memories with their friends. We also want to put a big spotlight on the girls soccer team for being recipients of the USC High School Team Academic Award. To qualify for this award, varsity soccer teams must have a combined GPA of 3.25 or over. We are greatly proud to say that Boyertown had a GPA of 3.69. We want to congratulate both the varsity girls and Coach Goddard for this amazing accomplishment. It really highlights how important both sports and academics are in their own right. So thank you to everyone at the meeting tonight for listening, and we hope we have even more exciting news to present next month. Have a great night.
And thank you for that presentation. We do like to hear that stuff. We want to hear that stuff, so keep it up. Keep coming back with all those good things. Thank you. We have the discussion information, Albright College.
We'll ask Mr. Stout to come.
Thank you.
Do a little introduction for us.
stuck back in the corner. So we are thrilled tonight to introduce Mr. Brophy. You had brought up a few meetings ago about expanding our horizons and looking at some of the local universities and providing a partnership. Well, we are going to share with you an awesome partnership that we have with Albright College University. College, yeah, it's Alvernia's University, Albright College. I got it. So I always get the 2A schools in Reading area set up. So Karen D'Annunzio and Adele Shade are going to give us some information about their program and how we're connecting with it.
Karen and Adele, we're glad to have you here tonight. We really want to expand our programs, and this is a great way to go about doing it. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for welcoming us tonight. We're excited to talk to you about the things we have going on here with you at Boyertown that are really exciting, and we're having a great time. So I'm Adele Shade. I'm the Dean of Pre-College and Summer Programs at Albright College, and I'm the founder of Total Experience Learning and the Science Research Institute, which I'll tell you a bit about. And I have with me tonight Karen D'Annunzio.
Hi, I'm Karen D'Annunzio. I'm the Director of Learning and Innovation, and the team that we have together, and I work with educators to support the impact of students in the classroom.
So what we'll do tonight is give you a little background on what Science Research Institute is and what Total Experience Learning is. And then we want to talk about the teachers that are doing some training with us right now. And then the last thing we'll talk about is the exciting esports grant that we have together, a PA Smart grant, 2 years, $500,000. And we have so many things we're going to do together with that we're really excited about. So if you could go to the next slide. Some background on what this is. So I'm at Albright College now. I'm there 2.5 years, but before that for 25 years, I was a science teacher at Conrad Weiser High School. And I spent the last 10 years of that teaching career commuting to Philadelphia as much as I possibly could. So nights, weekends, in the summer I would get apartments there, and I got myself into any science, tech, and R&D lab I could. And my goal was I wanted to be with the brightest minds and innovators and figure out how do we take that mindset and bring that to a K-12 classroom. Because I could see, the start to some student disengagement that I would see in school, talking to my friends and colleagues. We know with the teacher shortage, there's struggles right now in the classroom. So I wanted to figure out how could we really bring some excitement there. And my goal is, and our goal is now, we want people, teachers, students, administrators, every person involved with the school system to be excited walking in the building every day. That's the goal. So what do we do to create those environments? And so I started 8.5 years ago now, the Science Research Institute as a nonprofit while I was teaching at Conrad Weiser. That has evolved over the years. If I think about that 8 years ago, I started one summer with 12 kids. It wouldn't have even been recognizable to me what's happened to it now. But in the meantime, I created a learning methodology, and that's the total experience learning piece. And so total experience learning is a way to teach in a classroom. So it's an instructional method that allows teachers to personalize education to reach every kid's interest, but still meet the Department of Education standards that we're all held accountable for. And so that's what I spent 10 years trying to figure out. How do you do that as a teacher when you have 32 kids in a class 8 times a day and meet all of their interests and still hit the standards you're supposed to hit? And so that's what came out of that, is this total experience learning. And what you're going to see is that it has morphed away from being just science, and we're now in every discipline from kindergarten through 12th grade. So a little glimpse of what's coming for this. By January, Science Research Institute, that name is not going to exist anymore because we've changed so much. So we're actually going to change our name from that because we're more than science now. So if you can go to the next slide. And this is where we started. When I talked about Conrad Weiser High School, it was with after-school programs and summer programs. And so if you move to the next slide, now what we're focused on, and we have someone developing a pre-K curriculum to this, is pre-K through adult programs. The teachers that are in our courses right now are learning through total experience learning as well. So to apply this to all education environments. We opened a new facility for this at Albright College, and we hope that at some point you can all come in and see it. It's on Rockland Street. It's a starter space for us. We have a much larger capital campaign going on for another building. And this particular building is focused on creating innovation space for students in grades 5 through 12. And in this space are 2 labs in particular that are the only labs of their type for 5th to 12th graders in the United States. So there's some really unique environments in there, equipment in there, scanning electron microscopes and bioprinting and pretty much anything high science and tech we can get our hands on, we make it safe for 5th to 12th graders to use. So we hope you come visit this new site. It just opened last October. And so a bit about our student programs, and I'm just going to talk about these really quickly because we want to talk more about your teachers that are training with us right now. But what we're doing in the student programming now is summer programs. We have after school programs, dual enrollment. We have tutoring programs going on in the facility. If you've heard of the 13th Street Partnership, that also operates under our division. 13th Street in Reading is in the Guinness Book of World Records only street where you can go from kindergarten all the way up to your master's degree on the same street. We have academy systems running right now with some of the public school districts around us. So we found a way to have our programming integrate in academies during the school day. And so I'm going to have Karen talk a bit about the teacher training, but to wrap up the student portion, I gave you a lot of the logistics of what we do, but I want to tell you a story about a student because this will kind of help this make sense. There's thousands of stories. Right now we're over 15,000 kids in the program, and not every kid gets to this level, but we have had 10 kids get patents on their work before they leave high school in this program, and we have an 11th going in now. But one student I'm going to talk about was a special education math student. A lot of people think the only kids that come to us are the top gifted 1%, and that's not true. 40% of our students are special education. They thrive in this hands-on environment. So we had a special education math student, junior, in high school. And this was the kind of kid who would cut class when math class came around, leave the school. I see you shaking your heads. We all know these kids. He just wanted to get out of the building. He had been told his entire life he wasn't good at math, and he was convinced of that. But one day he came up to me and said, "Miss Shade," his father was a forensic detective, so you should know this first. "Miss Shade, if there's a dead body laying on the ground and maggots start to eat the body, but someone takes it and moves it somewhere else, but the maggots are still there, could you get the DNA out of that intestine of the maggot and figure out who that was?" And I thought, that is a great question. I don't know. So we did some research. No one had tried to do this before. So we took pork chops and sat them outside, and I taught him how to dissect this maggot intestine. And what he did was create a method to do genetic sequencing in real-time PCR, which is a ton of math and algebra. And he did the entire thing. And it was amazing. He found pork DNA in that maggot intestine. So then I was trying to convince him to take this to the Berks County Science Fair. And he said no, because that's only for the smart kids, and that wasn't him. But I knew his mother. So I could call her and say, what if I put a little pressure on him to go? She's like, good luck, do whatever you need to do. We got him there. He ended up winning for Berks County that year the Princeton University Use of Mathematics Award. special education math student who wanted to run out of the building. So I think when you look at some of the things that we're talking about and you hear stories about what kids do, that's one of my favorite stories. So now let's talk about teachers. You ready, Karen?
I am.
Okay.
So currently, we have 8 sections of educators throughout the county that are taking the coursework to be able to successfully have this ability to lead this methodology within their curriculum. We have pre-K through 12th grade enrolled in 7 districts in these 8 sections, and this is year 2. So we went from an enrollment in year 1 of 3 cohorts with approximately 52 educators, and when I say educators, I'm deeming teacher as well as administrators, and we are now at 120 with the 8 sections, and we're bringing on 3 more in January. So what has occurred is that we are giving educators an opportunity and the time in cohorts established within a district to work on how to support the students in their district. Your district currently has 12 educators that come and meet with me. We're in the first course, which is based upon culture in a classroom and how to create this mindset to be able to have students have agency and autonomy and choice and understanding what an academic identity is and how the teacher supports that in that structure. The next course will start in January, which we're really focusing on curriculum. They're not going to change the standards or the curriculum that they teach. We're going to change how that instruction looks in a classroom and allow more agency from the students in their choice of how to show up what they understand and know, how they're growing with their passion in conjunction with the curriculum that is given to them in that content. And then there's going to be a chance in our third course that we're really linking them with stakeholders in our community. One of the pieces with total experience learning is we believe that all of the silos need to come down. We have amazing business and industry and nonprofits in every community that can become advisors to our students and open up career pathways and be part of an educational process with the teacher support. After that, we have field experience where they get to come and with a no-risk environment in our summer programming, create and lead seminars for our students and be able to try and test the grounds for what they're going to then do when they return back to you in August. What you're seeing up here is that we believe educators as professionals need amazing opportunities to grow so that they can ignite their classrooms. This is an opportunity for all the educators that finish the 4 courses and get the first ever certificate of a master's in innovation and entrepreneurship in education are able to attend a week at Oxford University. It's a 3-credit course. Boris Villick, our School of Professional Studies Dean, has a fluid relationship with Oxford University, and he's established this course that we have educators coming for 6 days and 5 nights, room and board and credits for $1,480. So it's an amazing opportunity at a cost that's very affordable. This was our first cohort that came this past summer. The words and the comments that we have are that this was a life-changing event. What has occurred as a result of this experience in the schools that these educators are part of are slides that would take me 2 hours to present to you to be able to encapsulate the transfer of knowledge and enthusiasm of teaching into that experience to their classroom. So I'm going to hand it back over to Adele, but what I want to share is we are definitely in a time where educators need support more than ever. We're in a teacher shortage, and we want at the very core to reignite the passion for teaching and the passion for learning. Our educators that are in the cohort and have graduated for the cohort have given that feedback to us that this has been life-changing for them. And we have educators that are in year 1 of teaching, and we have educators that are year 31 of teaching currently, all coming together to co-construct, collaborate, share thinking, and redesign how students learn. Small story to that, and I have, as Michelle said, I probably have 1,000 stories by now from all of these experiences. One of the educators sent to me in an email all of these attachments, and they were scanned attachments. They were letters from her students after she started the redesign, asking her to please never go back to the way she taught before, and to please continue to teach this way, because they shared how much more they loved learning and what they learned as a result of this new way of learning. So when we think about the evidence from our customers, that's all that we need to know that we're on the right direction. And the educators that you have here are amazing, energetic, and so focused on doing everything they can to create that for the students at Boyertown Area School District. It's truly an honor to lead that learning.
Thank you, Karen. And yes, so Karen, my nickname for her is the teacher whisperer. She loves working with your teachers. And so if you noticed on the last slide, we had at the top there, creating a world-class education community. We believe to be a world-class community, you need to be a world-class educational community as well. And that's what we're working towards, putting these support systems in places for schools so that our Berks County schools become the employers of choice. We want people to move here and live here because we have things that other people don't have. And that's how we would like to structure this. So went from what you looked at the beginning, now this is the program right now at Albright College. So you can see the student programs, the teacher programs, and to talk about a little bit about what that world-class community means. And we're going to go through these slides pretty quick as we click through, but just to give you a sample of some of the things that have drawn attention to Reading Berks and Total Experience Learning. We were just recognized by the United Nations. We're getting invited there in December as the most innovative K-12 program. So they sent 7 countries to us 2 weeks ago. So we're getting, again, a spotlight on Berks to say, look at what these schools are doing, look at the way they're innovating in these classrooms. And with that then, what's nice is comes funding, okay? And that's the next 2 slides. So we're fortunate to get some grant money. A lot of that grant money goes towards helping students get access to our programs that may be free or reduced lunch and have financial struggles. The last piece of what we want to celebrate tonight is a grant that we submitted together with some other districts in Berks County, and this is the Esports Unleashed PA Smart Grant. So we were, congratulations to Boyertown and the other Berks schools, awarded this together for the next 2 years, and it's going to focus on total experience learning methodology for esports, computer science, and game and simulation development. And how do we take those curricular areas, teach the fundamentals, and then allow students to invent and innovate on the other side of those things? And how do we integrate these kinds of curricular pieces, K-12, as actual teaching tools? So that's going to be our goal for the next 2 years. We'll be working with your teachers on that and having students in programming. We start on Friday. Friday is our first day. So that kind of wraps up the quick introduction to what we're doing. The last thing I'd want to tell you again about this educational community, we're really focused on. Albright's putting a lot of resources behind it. And this area in Northeast Reading that we're talking about with our new facility, and we have a new esports arena, the largest one west of Philadelphia, coming to us soon. We are calling the Innovation Corridor. So that area, Northeast Reading, around Albright College, we welcome you to the Innovation Corridor anytime. Come to see us. And thank you for welcoming us tonight. So if I could address any questions. Or Karen.
So, thank you for the presentation. It was excellent. Which I wish I had a stronger word, but it was really fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. A few of the things that I heard that I really, really loved were that special ed students are able to access this. I heard the word innovation a whole lot, which I love. Ignite classrooms, autonomy and agency for students. These are all amazing things. And I love that you guys are speaking to kids' passions, because I think that that's how kids learn the best, right? Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's how any of us learn the best.
All of us.
Yeah. So thank you for the work you're doing. I wish I had known about this before. It's really amazing. So I did have just a question. So so we're going to be participating in the esports program. Your other programs, are they like after school? Like if a student wanted to participate in that, how could they access them?
Right, great question. So yes, after school they could access that. That is at Albright College. The summer program, they could also attend that, and that's also at the college. It's a 5-week program. And what's different about our after school and summer, we call them memberships. So attendance isn't required at any point. We are flexible with students coming and going according to their schedule. Our summer program runs the same way. It's 5 weeks, 15 days. Some students are athletes, have practice in the morning. They only come some afternoons, or families go on vacation for 2 weeks. They come the other 3. We think it's important to allow that flexibility in access because of all the different schedules. And we want to have a place that's open for when people need it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you again. It's
Thank
really
you.
great. Thank you.
And thanks for supporting, your teachers in this way. They are a great group. Karen talks about them often in a great way.
Right
Yeah.
behind me.
It's very exciting. Thank you.
Okay, well, again, thank you for your presentation. Thanks for everything. I'd like to address Mr. Stout for a minute on this. Mike, how do you, in your view, how do you see Boyertown students and teachers fitting into this program? Like, what you're closest to it, so where do you see it? How do you see the fit?
Well, you saw all the opportunities, and the opportunities are, and Mrs. Torsia goes way back with Mrs. Shade and her Conrad Weiser. That's her connection. So how far this has grown in the short time is just incredible. So I'll put out the struggle initially is the proximity to Albright and us not having the ability to have it right next door. So those are some of the hurdles. We're working on mobility. We're working on training our teachers in that capacity so that they can carry on the practice of what it looks like. The dual enrollment piece, we're working closely with Bass administration as we've been tasked to kind of do to find connections. But the opportunities that are there, I had the opportunity this summer to go visit the program, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it fruit flies and concussions?
Yes.
Yeah, so what they failed to share with, which was an amazing thing that I could not believe, they have all these crazy scientific machines, and they were working on the impact of concussions and the impact that it might have on athletes or whatever, but they were studying this through fruit flies. And I believe there is a student who has a patent connected to concussions or the studying or something. I forget what the piece was, but it's just amazing. Yeah, the intricacies of what's going on in the program. And then I left that shop and I walked next door and we were making something in the kitchen. And we were using dough and using all kinds of things that was really exciting for kids to see. So the experience of having hands-on experience is where I see it growing the most. But then you're also connecting that to the potential for what college can bring, dual enrollment, and those opportunities. So it is an amazing situation for kids.
So is this mainly after school and during the summer, or are you looking to see like some class time being held there for some percentage of the students? I don't know what that would be.
Yes. The answer is yes. So we this as Adele had spoken, this is a newer program. So it's only growing bigger, and our hurdle is getting kids to be able to access that program. What does that look like? Or can we bring the program to kids here in Boyertown? And that's kind of the avenues that we're looking at.
That was my next question.
Right.
Is there anything like some sort of remote access that could possibly work to help the kids that are here that maybe can't get to Albright? Is there? I don't know. It sounds like your program's pretty intensive and pretty focused. So how is there a possibility for any way it can be remoted to some
There's
kids
some
that can't get
things
there?
they could, but we have some other things in the works that may make hands-on things closer to this area, which would be even better. Yeah.
Your futuristic thinking, Mr. Brophy, yes.
And that's why we're here. But thank you. This is one of the things I'd like to see is we've seen that the education drop in the last 2 years. The goal here at Boyertown, I think, from all of us is to make education grow. Not only get back to where we were, but surpass where we were. Because I think internationally, we're low in math, we're low in reading, and there's the sciences are where we've got to go. And this sounds like a perfect program to start bringing the sciences up, which is where we really need to get to. But thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Next, I believe, we have public comment period number 1. We have one speaker for that, Mrs. Savage. So let me read the public comment period. On behalf of the Board of School Directors, I would like to welcome you to this meeting. We welcome your attendance and input from stakeholders to assist us with making recommendations and decisions related to the Boyertown Area School District. The procedures and rules for public participation are detailed in BSAD Policy 903. This document is available on BASD website. Participants properly registered with the Board Secretary will be recognized by the presiding officer. Public comment period number 1 is limited to topics on tonight's agenda. Participants must preface their comments by announcing their name. Participants are encouraged to direct all statements, inquiries, and questions to the presiding officer and or the board as a whole. Note that we value and will not compromise the privacy of our students and staff. Please see us outside the realm of a public meeting if you have concern about the individual staff member or student. If your public comment includes a question, Mrs. Torsha or a member of her staff will be in contact with you to confirm the question and provide you with information. Comments are limited to 3 minutes and comment periods are limited to 30 minutes. Individuals may indicate a desire to speak a second time if there is time left in a 30-minute period. Finally, note that we do record our board and committee meetings and we post them on YouTube with a link to our website. We request that if you do wish to take pictures or record a meeting yourself, do so in a non-disruptive and discreet manner and use those materials respectfully and responsibly. So first is Ms. Donahue Savage for Virtual Academy.
Hi. I see that you have on your personnel agenda some investment in your virtual academy, which is great, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about cyber education. I've heard some concerning things regarding our district's financial planning, like quotes like if all the factors align, or hopefully when we talk about bringing students back from outside charters. There was an article in the Boyertown Times in July that talked about the increase in students going to outside charter schools across the Tri-County region. And they pointed out that from the 2019-2020 school year to the 2020-21 school year, Boyertown had the highest increase by far, which was a 270% increase, which was higher by multitudes than the next closest district. And it was a $5.4 million cost to us. By the way, this is an example of an unexpected cost and double what you plan to have in reserves in 2 years from now. So what I'm hearing and what you should be asking is why do people leave and what are we doing to bring them back? And what I'm hearing are that many who left for cyber have no intention of returning. They have found it for their students, and I'm not saying for every student, but for their students to be a superior, that's the word I'm hearing, superior education. And that the other thing I'm hearing is that the trouble with our cyber charter, our virtual academy, is that things keep changing all the time, every year, 2, 3 years. And so people are changing the program. And it's very, very difficult for students who are in it and families who are in it to keep up with that. So what I'm asking you to do is ask the questions. This is a very big topic for you and your budget and the future of our district and the future of and the education of our students. Ask for the data. What does the enrollment in Boyertown's virtual academy versus outside cyber, what does that look like year after year? And what assumptions are in this year's budget? And are we on target for that? And if not, how are we going to get on target? How do we know we're on target? And what assumptions were made for the 5-year projection? And again, how do we know we're on target? How will we stay on target? You really need to know what people are saying and how successful we're being in bringing people back. And I don't hear any questions being
30
asked.
seconds.
So I'm asking you to please ask these questions. Please do your job so that you can keep this district solvent. Thank you very much.
Just for the board and for the record, I do want to let everyone know that our current enrollment in cyber charter school outside cyber charter is currently 233 students, which is very close to the total number of students that were out prior to the pandemic. And prior to the pandemic, we did not have the proper budget set for cyber charter students. So as we were heading into the 2020 school year, which was not the current budget for the presiding CFO, we had to make up that deficit. And moving forward, the current CFO has properly budgeted for outside cyber, so that you understand that we are being responsible with the amount of students that are leaving and or returning. But I did feel as though I needed to bring that information to all of you so that you are aware that our numbers are coming down, students are returning back into our schools, and those numbers have deflated since the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Dorsey. Next would be approval of the meeting minutes for October 11th, 2022. Do I have a? And Mr. Updegrove, it's a motion, and Mr. Panarello seconds. We have a roll call vote on that, please?
Ms. Nyman.
You didn't ask for questions or comments first.
Oops.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a question or comment?
No, but that's probably.
Ms. Nyman.
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Mr. Updegrove.
Yes.
Mr. Zawada.
Yes.
Mrs. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Deeroff.
Yes.
Mr. Hemingway.
Yes.
Mrs. Hogan.
Yes.
Mr. Brophy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next will be report of the president. Nothing at this time. Next will be finance reports. Treasurer's report.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to share a few highlights from the September 2022 Treasurer's Report. For local revenue, delinquent tax collection was approximately $90,500. Earned income tax collection was approximately $654,300. And the transfer tax collection was approximately $179,200. For state revenue, we had a PDE special ed subsidy, approximately $665,400. PDE basic ed subsidy, approximately $776,800. The PDE retirement subsidy was approximately $2,380,600. The PDE pre-K subsidy was approximately $35,700, and grant funds received $335,245. Regarding September expenditures, salaries, benefits, and professional services accounted for 66% of the monthly expenditures. And this concludes the Treasurer's Report. Thank you.
Motion to accept.
Hogan motion.
Hogan, 0 seconds. Comments? I see none. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Nyman.
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Mr. Updegrove.
Yes.
Mr. Zawada.
Yes.
Mrs. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Deeroff.
Yes.
Mr. Hemingway.
Yes.
Mrs. Hogan.
Yes.
Mr. Brophy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Secretary's report, please.
No report this evening.
Solicitor's report.
Ditto.
Superintendent's report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Brophy. At each of your seats this evening, I did leave some information on the oh my goodness, the Helping Harvest Weekender program. And I wanted to bring your attention to the fact that they are helping over 206 children per week in the Boyertown Area School District this year. And they are looking for assistance. The need for weekender backpacks filled with food and food products are getting stretched very thin. And so I was just giving some support out to this wonderful program that is helping our students and sending them home with backpacks of food to support their food needs for a weekend and their household. So just wanted to bring your attention that, and this is just on the Berks County side. So on the Montgomery County side, we have a different food bank that is supporting those schools. So just wanted to make you aware that we are seeing a lot of families that are in different needs this year, and we have been working really hard to make sure that we are providing them some supports. So just wanted to bring that to your attention prior to moving into the superintendent's consent agenda. Yeah, I'm going to ask for the Board of School Directors to approve the consent agenda as presented. It would be in acknowledging settlement agreement for student 102-482, 101-452, student 103-100, and student 210-108. So I'm looking for a motion.
Hogan moves.
Darrell seconds.
No, this is consent. Yep. So roll call.
Strict roll call. Roll call, please.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello,
Yes.
Mr. Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mrs. Scott,
Yes.
Ms. Deeroff,
Yes.
Mr. Hemingway,
Yes.
Mrs. Hogan,
Yes.
Mr. Brophy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, under the itemized agenda, I will be looking for the Board of School Directors to approve the CAFCO participation agreement for collaborative procurement of food for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. This collaborative procurement effort to purchase food is being offered through the Lancaster Lebanon Intermediate Unit, IU13, and facilitated by IU13 Collaborative Services. This agreement will be in effect for fiscal year July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. I'm looking for a motion. Thank
I'll
you.
make a motion.
Hogan seconds.
Got Ms. Deeroff?
Didn't we used to have this before with Berks IU? Is this like a better opportunity for us? or-
I'm not sure, Mrs. Deeroff and Mrs. Denicola, do you know if it was through IU14 prior?
I believe we're still going through Berks. This may be through Berks as well. It's just a separate procurement agreement, but we can double check on that for you.
Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
I got logged out for some reason. Roll call, please.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello,
Yes.
Mr. Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mrs. Scott,
Yes.
Ms. Deeroff,
Yes.
Mr. Hemingway,
Yes.
Mrs. Hogan,
Yes.
Mr. Brophy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, I will be looking for the Board of School Directors to approve the YMCA before and after school program for 2023 as presented.
Hogan moves.
I'll second. Hemingway seconds.
Comments? Ms. Nyman?
Yes, I was looking at this and I see that we open the schools up at 6 o'clock, which is before our custodians are there. So how are they getting in?
We have been opening up the doors for them at approximately 6:15 since the inception of this program. So I am quite certain that whatever arrangements were made prior to this school year and all the previous years are the same things that are in place. What I believe they are doing, and I would have to double check, is that there would be an access key that would only be able to open up the doors from, the time that they arrive to, and then shutting back down at 6:30, that it would not allow them to have access to the building after those hours. And it would only be during the times that they were there.
My concern was, do we have a custodian there, or are they just letting themselves in with that card?
They would either be letting themselves in with that card. And as I said, I know that this has been in place since, I couldn't even tell you, 2011 is what I have here, that they've been utilizing our building. So they've always been operating and getting in there, very early in the morning for those parents who need to be at work
My
early.
concern was that they were in there before our custodians were there. That was my issue. And when was the last time we upped their fee?
That has not probably changed for quite a while, and that was going to be included in the part of any changes that we made to anyone else that is utilizing our facility.
Any other comments? See none, roll call, please.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello,
Yes.
Mr. Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mrs. Scott,
Yes.
Ms. Diroff,
Yes.
Mr. Hemingway,
Yes.
Mrs. Hogan,
Yes,
That was my bad.
Mr. Brophy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And next, I will be looking for the Board of School Directors to approve the personnel agenda we will be withdrawing the corrections updates of portion of the personnel agenda. So it would be everything presented minus the corrections and updates. We need to put a little bit more information under that category. So I'm asking for approval of the personnel agenda exclusive or excluding the corrections and updates portion.
Hogan moves.
Daryl seconds.
Darrell, second. Any comments? Mr. Solsanik, there's nothing we have to do special on that, correct? We can just move with that. Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello,
Yes.
Mr. Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mrs. Scott,
Yes.
Ms. Diroff,
Yes.
Mr. Hemingway,
Yes.
Mrs. Hogan,
Yes.
Mr. Brophy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That completes my portion of the agenda, Mr. Brophy.
Thank you very much. Old business? Nothing at this time. We now move to the second public comment period. There are a few people, so I will read that first. On behalf of the school board directors, I would like to welcome you to this meeting. We welcome your attendance and input from stakeholders to assist us with making recommendations and decisions related to the Boyertown Area School District. The procedures and rules for public participation are detailed in BSAD Board Policy 903. This document is available on the BSAD website. Participants properly registered with the board secretary will be recognized by the presiding officer. Public comment period number 2 is for those persons wishing to discuss any district-related items not appearing on the evening's agenda. Participants must preface their comments by announcing their name. Participants are encouraged to direct all statements, inquiries, and questions to the presiding officer and/or the board as a whole. Note that we value and will not compromise the privacy of our students and staff. Please see us outside the realm of the public meeting if you have a concern about an individual staff member or student. If your public comment includes a question, Mrs. Torsh or a member of her staff will be in contact with you to confirm your question and provide you with information. Comments are limited to 3 minutes and comment periods are limited to 30. Note that we do record our board and committee meetings and we post them on YouTube with a link to our website. We request that if you do wish to take pictures or record the meeting yourself, do so in a non-disruptive and discreet manner, and use those materials respectfully and responsibly. Thank you. There are 7 people signed up for this one, so I will start with Cassandra Roney, Curriculum, Books, and District Values.
Cassandra Roney, Douglas Township. I spoke a few months back about public school and called it a government school. Today that statement is equally as accurate. Parents and anyone with an interest in our district should get involved and be concerned with what is going on in our schools. In the past 30 days, our family has experienced a CRT assignment, political statements being made in the presence of students, and questionable reading material which was recommended for a 7th grader. Parents need to question curriculum resources. A social identity matrix was given to middle school students to ask for their race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, family origin and makeup, disability or ability, religion, age, and body type. Then they are asked to rate each one. How important is this identity to you? How obvious is this identity to someone who only sees you or does not know you well? How highly regarded is this identity by society as a whole? I can provide a link from the bottom of the document that leads to an inclusive teaching site that is straight from the CRT handbook. Assignments such as these are divisive and are meant to put our children into boxes, then used to socially reprogram them. Once I reported the assignment, it was pulled for the entire class. Putting children into boxes interferes with their natural acceptance of others. I honestly believe that our district needs to purify its schools of books that are creating gender confusion. Ideologies such as these have no place in our schools. Why has government school become a place for such indoctrination? It isn't by chance that we have over 7.5% of our district's children currently questioning genders or wanting to change themselves. Gender dysphoria is unnatural and is being taught. Teachers should be ashamed to participate in such coercion and improper influence of our children. What is a recommended read for a 7th grader that's 12 years old? The 57 Bus. Just read a few Amazon reviews. Page 33 is titled Gender, Sex, Sexuality, Romance, Some Terms. This book is one example of the lack of care for the innocence of our youth. Again, I ask for academics, life skills, respect, confidence, and other productive topics to be the benefit of our children.
30
Thank
seconds.
you to those of you on the board who are willing to approach this beast with bravery. Our kids are not okay. Affirmation is not the answer, and we are responsible for properly leading them into success.
Next, Nicole Zelks, Board Policy and Public Comment.
Good evening, Nicole Zelks. First, I just want to thank you and point out that I appreciate the fact that the statement read before comment period was changed to reflect that of Policy 903. So I thank you for that. I want to acknowledge that at the October 11th meeting, I did not violate the policy. If anyone had violated policy, it was Mr. Zawada and Ms. Deeroff. They continually interrupted me, which is during my public comment, which policy 903 clearly states that the presiding officer may interrupt or terminate a participant's statement for specific reasons. I stand by that public comment is protected speech, which this board cannot create policy to infringe upon. While I understand that having public comment is not a protected right, once public comment is established, the speech during those comments is protected. I want to address what Mr. Brophy said last week. During his public comment, he stated that I continuously attack this board. I think you're confusing holding the board accountable and its members accountable for their actions as an attack. As a community member, a taxpayer, I have every right to hold any board member accountable for their actions. In my opinion, calling it an attack should be troublesome to every stakeholder in this district. Each member of the board ran for office and was elected. By doing so, you took on the duty to hear from the public, whether you agree with us or not. So to publicly commend a stakeholder is what I find to be unethical. Thank you.
Next will be Barb Furman, William Penn, and History.
Hello, Barb Furman, New Hanover Township. My first point is that you have a thankless job. And I think that you are trying to balance kids and teachers and taxpayers' interest. And we also expect respect between all of the school board members at these meetings. Where do I start? For 2.5 years, the media and politicians and schools have been trying to convince people not to believe their lying eyes. It actually started here in 2017. So these are some jests. We're just addressing the needs of a small segment of the children, having compassion for the student, following legal guidance. Now, it's just 14 days to slow the spread. It's just a mask. It's just a shot. It's just missing the prom. It's just missing your graduation. It's just poor performance on standardized tests, and we can explain. Of course, low test scores aren't related to the measures taken. Behavior problems have nothing to do with all of the lessons encouraging questioning gender. I taught health and sex education more than ever. I now think that parental rights discussion, that is a parental rights discussion, and not the school. The confusion with CRT, DEI, and SEL and gender-neutral activities, I know as a parent and an educator, these are fads and phases. I just found out that in 1965, the American history changed to U.S. history. The importance being that the settlers were here, and the U.S. Constitution was founded on freedom to worship God. PA was founded by William Penn, a godly man.
30 seconds.
Go to the Capitol and see his vision. On October 24th, yesterday, was Penn Day. In the establishment of Penn Day, the people of Pennsylvania seek to honor the memory of our great founder of the Commonwealth. This bulletin has been prepared as a contribution to this desire as a memorial to William Penn's life and works. 3 points are stressed: the principles that motivated the holy experiment, the influence of these principles in shaping the Pennsylvania of today, and the fact that every worthy thing that Pennsylvania has done in the past or that we may do in the future had its inception in the ideals of its founder. To this purpose, the material that follows is dedicated, and it was James Rule, the Superintendent of Public Instruction, May 31st, 1934. Thank you.
Okay. Donahue Savage. The topic is governance and leadership.
Hi again. I'm legitimately concerned about the solvency of this district. You all do a nice job giving kudos to our students and our staff. I like the way you all do that. And you can spend hours talking about small budget issues like rental fees for our facilities. but very few of you are asking any substantive questions about the current and future direction of our district. Why are you not asking questions? For example, we talked about the cyber and the cost of cyber. Also, personnel is very challenging right now. Up until just a few years ago, this board had a personnel committee, which was a forum where we learned about the strategies for attracting and retaining talent. Are you asking those questions? You can ask for these presentations. You can ask for a presentation all about cyber or all about personnel. You're charged with collecting and using our taxpayer dollars to invest in the education of our students and the future of our community. Please do your job.
Okay, next is Barb Hunter concerning professional conduct among educators.
Hi, my name is Barbara Hunter. Am I on? Is this on? No. There we go, okay. Hi, my name is Barbara Hunter, and I'm a resident in Pine Forge area of Boyertown. I'm coming here tonight with concerns of educator misconduct following emails sent to members of the administration, including the building principal involved, which received no response to my questions. I speak for many parents when I say that I have concerns and questions about unprofessional conduct, which is condoned by the administration of Boyertown Area School District. I'm not permitted to name educators by name, which is perfectly fine, as this behavior shouldn't be acceptable from any educator. On Monday, October 10th, an educator in the Boyertown District, in an official capacity and on school property, addressed a group of more than 80 students, using profane language to them and insulting their parents. I'll censor myself because if I used this same language at this meeting, I'd be asked to leave. Please recognize the irony of this. Our son and his peers said this educator told them they needed to cut the expletive and that the educator was tired of stupid expletive emails from parents who don't know what they're talking about, and said that students and parents needed to stop expletive. This conduct was so egregious as to spark emails to administration and to the school board from my family and other concerned parents and community members. We're far from alone in feeling that this conduct was unacceptable. In the 2 weeks since the incident, I've heard from dozens of other community members who've had similar encounters with this one educator going back up to 5 years. If this educator would so boldly address a large group of students, what further abuse would occur behind closed doors with only 1 or 2 students? Days later, at a parent meeting with concerned parents and this educator, the building principal cautioned parents about sharing details of this incident on social media because of concerns for Boyertown's image. Imagine being more concerned about the perception of our school district than the collective integrity and character of our school district. As a nearly lifelong Boyertown resident who attended school here from kindergarten through graduation, and a parent to 6 school-aged children in this district, I most certainly want Boyertown to have an outstanding reputation. However, I want it to be earned and to be legitimate. Whitewashing and ignoring misconduct to maintain an image is what permanently altered the lives of numerous Penn State families and students and families, and sullied the reputation of an institution who ignored abusive behavior by its employees and professionals. 15 days later, this educator remains in their position interacting with students, my students and your students. Multiple email complaints dating back years have been levied against the
30
same
seconds.
educator. Why does Boyertown's administration condone this unprofessional, abusive behavior by inaction? As such, I'm here to submit a right-to-know request for emails to administration regarding this employee. Parents and community members have a right to know just how long this has been covered up because of Boyertown's image. Please let me know who I should hand this to. Thank you.
You can hand it to the superintendent and she'll process it. But please note that personnel-based emails are not covered under the Right to Know Act.
Okay, next we have Rick Hunter about the athletic department.
My name is Rick Hunter. I live in Pine Forge. I'm a graduate of Boyertown. I have 6 children in the district. I've been a coach and a volunteer in this town for over 20 years. I have seen all types of approaches towards youth. I have come from a time when being tough on kids was a little more acceptable than it is now. However, never once did I curse at a team or address them out of anger. I have seen this approach before, and that person was removed from their position. Although recently, just this month, a staff member of Boyertown did just that. Lined up an entire football team, which my 14-year-old son is on, just before a JV game, and let out all of their frustrations on this student using profanity in the school building, calling them profane names. To this day, I have seen no repercussions for this act. More than 100 people have reached out to me to discuss their situations. Most are afraid to say anything due to their fear that their child would have to pay for it. Not to mention just being silenced. I welcome anyone here to tell me how we have gone so far away from basic morals that we have found this behavior to be acceptable. How can we try to expel a student over a word, but our staff is untouchable? How many emails do you need to receive before this is taken seriously? It is my understanding that there has been years of problems and complaints brought up, but yet nothing has changed. To reference what one parent said at the parent meeting, Boyertown tries to model ourselves on no place for hate. If you see or experience bullying, you should walk away or tell a teacher, some adult that they can trust or confide in. What if the bullying is the adult? Then what? What is the lesson? Don't allow bullying from your peers, but someone with authority can do whatever they want. Does no place for hate and no bullying fit the narrative only when it's convenient? Or is it just a political agenda? We have a new era of football in particular here, and for the most part, the coaches are doing a real good job turning things around, and they're on the verge of having their first winning season since 2013. We are allowing our seniors to leave here with this negative experience casting a shadow on that. I'm not saying that people don't make mistakes. We have all said things that we wish we could take back. But this is not just one instance. This is a history, and yet nothing changes. I know of a time where a parent was asked if she was stupid in public. Is that how our staff should talk to our parents? Are we teaching our kids respect and manners? I ask you, the board, to go home tonight, look in the
30
mirror,
seconds.
and ask yourselves if this is how we want our kids treated. Is this morally right? Is this how we want the care of an educator to take care of our kids in a school when we trust you guys to handle that? Or should we be doing everything we can do to promote their growth experience and make them better people when they leave here? I ask you to please do something positive and change a positive change that would come through this as the children come through this district and through our athletic department. Thank you.
Mr. John Emmy on feedback on board behaviors regarding transparency and collaboration.
Just turned it off, yeah. John Amy, Boyertown. My comments on transparency are going to be related to a few board members, but I'm going to keep, at least one, maybe a few. I'm going to keep it quiet. This is regarding the books and curricula discussion that we're probably going to have. People might be surprised to know I'm fully on board with that. I think parents should totally be involved as much as they can in their kids' education. They should ask questions. I think the school district should be as transparent as possible. I think this is a debate we should have. We should make sure that we're giving our kids the best shot in education and we're teaching them how to think, how to reason, not what to think. On the other hand, it should be something that's decided amongst the people of Boyertown, who are the actual residents of the school district. We shouldn't be bringing in hired guns. We shouldn't have speakers getting up here who have been taking guidance from an outside group whose philosophy and agenda can be only what I call Christian dominionist. And I can explain what that means if you want to, but I can talk about that later. People should be transparent about that kind of stuff when they come up to speak. Sitting board members should be transparent about that stuff when they get up to speak about the same issues. I'm ready to have this debate with anyone who wants to have it. I'm ready to discuss people's concerns. I'm hoping that teachers and administrators and board members are willing to teach people's concerns. But let's keep it within Boyertown. Let's not bring in hired guns with agendas of their own. Thank you. Sorry, one more thing. I'm going to give those people the chance to come clean about that. And if they don't, I will.
Okay, move to board comments. I'm going to start with Mrs. Scott.
Okay, so just to comment to Mr. Emmy, I was part of that, what he's calling paid gun, but they don't get paid. That was a Parent Unite meeting, a town hall that was held, and I wasn't gonna keep it from the board. I just didn't feel like this was the place to discuss anything, but I was there, and it was very good. And the information and the polling that came out of it was good, and I will share that with the board. The other thing I'm sorry, the other thing that I wanted to say is that I have been, from the other comments that have been made, that I have been reviewing some books and going through all that literature. I do agree with parents that there are very questionable things that we need to look at as a board, how we go forward with that. Maybe if a special committee selected to look at some of these things, it's, I would suggest that. I believe that we have excellent resources at Boyertown. I love what we have here. I love when the students come in and academically they're doing really well. But the mixture and muddying the waters isn't going to help our kids' future. So as a board member, we do have to have those discussions at some point. We do have to address pornography in the libraries. This gender confusion issue has to be addressed. It doesn't belong here. It's not for children. It's not for middle school. It's not even for high school. And so I just vehemently ask the board to look at some of these things and that we start to have some type of committee that we work on it. We start looking and digging deeper. We listen to what the parents are bringing forward. And we make some policy changes possibly to what we allow in our libraries and curriculum policy changes as well. It's just a suggestion. I know others are working on this as well. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Zawada, can you hear me?
Whoops, yes.
Okay, you're up.
I didn't realize I would be up next. First of all, I want to thank the partnership that we've established now with Albright College. I think it's a great idea. Working with other board members, this is the kind of stuff we want to put forward. I want to thank Mr. Stout on all his efforts in doing this. This will prepare our kids for so much further down the road than anything they can have before. As far as books and curriculum, yes, I'm 100%. If it's not appropriate, that should be brought to, at this point, from what I understand from Mr. Sultanic, the policy or the procedure is the information is sent to the principal. The principal is supposed to bring forth to the teacher and have a discussion. If that doesn't alleviate some of the problems, it then goes to the superintendent, who also has a meeting, and then at that point it would come to the board for us to make a decision. And if I'm wrong about that, I'll ask Mr. Sultanic to correct me. But it's not that people are not looking for this or not trying. We know it's there. It's just a matter, looking at 500 books is almost impossible. We need the help of the parents, and the parents need to do their pursue this and the exact reason I just said, or the way to do it just now. We can have open discussions. I hope we do. It is scary what is being put out there. And as co-chair as a curriculum committee, it is important to us. Tony and I feel the same way. It's just that it's all new grounds that we're coming across or learning from. So there isn't exactly a straight arrow that we know where to follow. So other than that, that's all I have to say tonight. Sorry I wasn't there.
Mr. Updegrove.
Yes. I want to thank the Boyertown Senior High and Junior High marching unit for being in the parade, Halloween parade Saturday night. It was really good. And also, I seen, is Mr. Our principal leaving, but Mr. Buck?
Yes, I did mean to bring that forward to announce that regretfully, we would be accepting Mr. Buck's resignation this evening as well. Yes, our middle school East principal.
Okay. Also, I have on this Helping Harvest, I mean, if we want to go for like some of our students that are homeless, if we pack a backpack with food, do we give them to the student? Do we give it to you? Or, you know, like on a weekend?
Right. Any
'Cause I know
donation.
my wife's transporting homeless students.
Any donations can be made to the school, and we can make sure that it's directed towards any student that would be in need. Many of our students that, or all of our students that are in a situation where they are homeless do also have opportunities to receive other supports as well. Through the school district, they're entitled to things that are covered through our Title I program. So, but if you do have something that you would like to donate, we can certainly take it, receive it here at the Ed Center, and make sure that it gets to where you would like it to be.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hogan.
Thank you, Mr. Brophy. I was going to ask you about the Helping Harvest, so thank you, Mr. Updegrove, for bringing that up. Also, I just wanted to mention Mr. Buck and thank him. He's really been a wonderful administrator for me to work with personally, as my child did attend East. So we will miss him. And kudos about the Albright partnership. I'm super excited about that. I mean, it sounds really amazing. Super exciting. Congratulations to all of our seniors for completing their presentations. I know that's stressful, and so way to go. The Student Council State Conference, that sounds really interesting and exciting. So, and it's really great to be hosting. So, thoughts and prayers continued for Brianna and her family. What else? Oh, to Dylan and to Andrea, both, that was amazing. And thank you to Mrs. Moyer for consistently bringing us good news about what's going on in our student body. I think that's it for me today. Yeah, but it was a really great meeting. I thank you. Thanks.
Mr. Panarello.
I want to thank Lexi and Olivia. They did a great job tonight. The senior spotlight students, that was amazing. I'm going to go home and beat my kids. They're not doing enough.
I am a man of the point. You're not allowed to do that, I heard it.
See, I had a lot. So curriculum, I did suggest to the board that we talk about the next committee of the whole. And we do need parents. If there's an issue, you have to bring it to our attention. We're not going through 10,000 books. 500 is not the amount of books. It's like thousands. So if you have an issue with something, you have to bring it to our attention. So look after your kids, see what they're doing, look at their homework. Trying to think what else we touched on tonight. The athletic stuff. So the Boyertown football team has an opportunity to play its second in history of postseason football here at the stadium. So I'd like to urge the administration to figure out how we can work it out. I know there's supposed to be a conference here in 2 weeks or something with kids. So if we could figure out how to put the charter buses on one side of the school and work it out, because this will be the second time in history. And it would be unfair to have these kids have to play somewhere else, especially the seniors. So if we could figure that out, that'd be awesome. I think that's it.
Ms. Nyman.
What is our record for the football team?
Right now, you're 4-5. If you win this week, you're 5-5. Then you'd have the Eastern Conference Championship game here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, curriculum. I would like to see how our scores have gone down, because I'm hearing all over the news that the scores of our subjects are going down all over, not just Boyertown, all over the country. So I'd like to see what our scores were prior to COVID and what they are now. Also, I want to get into the curriculum. I want to see what's going on. I mean, we need to dive into this, because we're hearing from parents And I'm concerned. I'm concerned as a board member. I'm concerned as a grandparent. I'm worried what our kids are getting into. I have from 12th grade down to third grade. Third grade. So I'm concerned. I want to know what's going on. So I'm keeping that in mind. And I'm concerned on what's going on with the comments from the public about our football or whatever's going on and the principal. And I guess my thing would be, what would be their next step, Mrs. Torsia, if they're not seeing the results that they want now? Who do they go to next?
Well, it would make its way through the chain, so if they've talked with the high school principal, then they should then reach out to the assistant superintendent, and then it would appeal to my level. But there are some things that we're not going to discuss with anyone with regard to any action, that would be taken that would look like, personnel. So that's standard for every situation.
And I understand that, but if they're not liking the results they're getting from the principal, then the next one would be Mr. Stout. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Dero?
No, I think I heard enough tonight. I don't need to add to all the drama. Thank you.
Mr. Hemingway?
Yeah, I'm gonna somewhat piggyback Miss Deer off. I would like to say, Ms. Kramer, thank you for the skirt. And I do appreciate Mr. Updegrove in mentioning about the homeless that we do have in our district. It's a real thing. I hope our numbers haven't increased. So, Mr. Updegrove, thank you for bringing that to our attention. We don't want to forget. Ms. Hogan, normally she's good at all the other thank yous, and it does appear that we're going to have some talk on curriculum. I have had some discussions, and I think we need to differentiate what curriculum even is before we can even dive into it, because curriculum is such a broad statement. We had the portrait of a graduate that we've all agreed upon. It's been a great presentation, which I understand is the schematics to curriculum. So I think before we even have the discussion, we need to all be fully versed in what that terminology even is. So yes, that is going to be a discussion that we're going to have down the line. I've heard also in tonight talking about it's a parenting issue. I've always believed that parents need to start parenting again. I'm fortunate enough to be a proud father of two graduates, and I have a daughter who's in the 8th grade. And I'll tell you what, I'm a part of their lives. So wake up, Boyertown parents, and start being part of your kids' lives. Enjoy it. It goes by fast. So this really is a team effort, and your input is always greatly listened to. One part, and here I told you I didn't really have a lot of comments, but here apparently I do. Going through, looking at our agenda, we have a lot of good things that have been happening, and I'm not going to lie to you. I see public comment period comes up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. I just want y'all to know I do listen to everyone's comments. I appreciate everyone's comments. Mr. Amy, if I'm allowed to say names, I don't know what we're allowed to do anymore. Tried to. John, I know you. You're my friend. Thank you for your comments. Ms. Elks, thank you for your comments. Ms. Savage, thank you for your comments. And those that I'm forgetting that were on the list, believe me, it comes to the point where I almost dread listening to what everybody has to say. I will listen to what you have to say. Just be respectful, be courteous. We're volunteers. We're here we're all in this together, which sounds cheesy. But please, just understand it. We're not the enemy. We're not the villains. We're all in this just trying to figure out this district together. And if we can continue that partnership, I'm on board. If not, I'm not going to listen to anything y'all have to say if you don't treat us with some kind of respect. And I will treat that respectfully right back to you. We're just doing the best that we can. Ms. Elks, I'm sorry if I offended you last week or at our last meeting. My intentions are so that everybody has a word and does get to speak. A lot of positive things tonight. I like to try to emphasize that, keep that up. Boyertown's a great district. Like I said, I have a lot of history here with two graduates who are successful. A lot of powerful, influential people come out of this little town. I'm originally from Baltimore, and here I ended up in Boyertown. And I'll tell you what, this is a great place to be. It's a great district to be a part of. And let's just together keep it up and keep the arguing to a minimum. Let's keep debate. Debate is good, but let's all be friends, be neighbors, and be, on the same team as far as we move forward. So anybody, thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate your comments. Board, thank you for being here, and I appreciate you giving me this moment to speak. Thank you.
Okay, I have nothing to add.
I would like to draw attention to the fact that we have 4 Boyertown area senior high school teams competing in playoffs, and to give a shout out to our girls field hockey, cross country, boys soccer, and girls soccer teams who qualified for the PIAA District 1 playoffs. Our girls field hockey team played Haverford on yesterday, and they won, October 24th, yes, at 4 p.m. and they won 5-1, and now they advanced to play Garnet Valley tomorrow night. So congratulations to them. Our girls and boys soccer teams are both competing this evening. And our cross country is at Lehigh University Goodman campus on Friday, October 28th. We have 3A girls at 10:30 and the 3A boys at 12 o'clock. So I just wanted to give a shout out to those teams. I also wanted to let Ms. Nyman know that the custodians arrive before the Y enters buildings. They start at 5:45 a.m. and grant access to the adults that run the program. That concludes. Yes.
Upcoming
meetings, yes. Our next meeting will be on Thursday, November the 10th. This is the committee of the whole meeting. This will be at Earl Elementary School. It was moved from Tuesday to Thursday because of Election Day. And then we have our November 22nd Board of School Directors meeting that will be here. And we will have a meeting December 6th. And that will be virtual, which will allow for any public comments to participate via Zoom, because we will be off-site exploring our Berks Career and Technology Center in Ole. So, but that meeting will be videotaped and will also allow for all public comment to be able to have a Zoom invite. Yes.
So I just want to ask you a quick question about that. So that means members of the public are not permitted to attend in person?
They wouldn't be able to attend in person, but they'll be able to attend via the Zoom. So they'll be able to be in the audience there, the ones that choose to speak.
Okay, great.
Just like, everybody gets to follow the Zoom link currently, they will be able to do that, and anyone that is there to participate in person will be given a Zoom link.
Right, okay, yes, thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
This was done.
What date did you say that was? That's the 13th, did you say?
That would be December 6th. That's been in our newsletter.
Is it that reorganization meeting?
Yes, I'm sorry. December 6th is reorganization. I got ahead of myself. December 13th is when we are going to the Berks Career and Technology. Yes, I am confusing everyone. I apologize. If I would just read, then I would not make any mistakes. So you are correct, Ms. Nyman. Thank you.
It's not a reorganization dinner then.
No, it's not a reorganization dinner, and everybody can come.
Mary Beth, can you mention that everybody really needed to get back to Sandy in regards to their attendance so that they can prepare?
Okay.
Oh, yes.
You did have a deadline, but
Yeah.
even I did.
Yeah. Just a reminder to the board sitting here to please respond back to Mrs. Kramer with respects to your ability to attend in person to the BCTC. So check your newsletter.
Okay, with that, I look for a motion to adjourn. Yep. Nyman and Scott. Okay. Adjourned.